I want you to imagine something for a second. What if I told you that the life you dream about is just 10 tiny actions away? Not massive changes. Not a complete lifestyle overhaul. Just 10 small things you can start doing today. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in the smallest moments you barely notice. The 5 minutes you spend in the morning. The 30 seconds before bed. These micro moments are where real change lives. I'm going to share 10 actions that take less than 5 minutes each. But here's the catch. They're so simple that most people ignore them. And that's exactly why they work. Because while everyone else is searching for the magic pill, these tiny habits are quietly building the life you actually want. Let's start with the first action that changed everything for me. Making your bed within 60 seconds of waking up. I know what you're thinking. Really? Making my bed is going to transform my life? But hear me out on this one. When you make your bed first thing in the morning, you're doing something powerful. You're completing your first task of the day. You're proving to yourself that you can follow through. It sounds small because it is small. But that's exactly the point. This one action creates a ripple effect. You've started your day with a win. Your brain registers this completion. It wants more of that feeling. So you're more likely to complete the next task. And the next one. Before you know it, you've had a productive day. All because you pulled up your covers. Navy SEALs talk about this all the time. Admiral William McRaven gave a famous speech about it. He said, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. Because if you can't do the little things right, you'll never do the big things right. The second tiny action is drinking water before coffee. Just 1 glass. Room temperature works fine. You don't need fancy alkaline water or lemon juice. Just plain water within the first 10 minutes of waking up. Why does this matter so much? Because your body has been fasting for 8 hours. You're dehydrated whether you feel it or not. Your brain is about 75% water. When you're dehydrated, even slightly, your cognitive function drops. Your mood suffers. Your energy crashes. But when you hydrate first, everything changes. Your metabolism kicks into gear. Your brain gets the resources it needs. You feel more alert naturally. Then when you do have that coffee, it works better because your body isn't fighting dehydration at the same time. I started doing this 6 months ago. The difference in my morning energy is remarkable. I used to feel foggy until my second cup of coffee. Now I feel sharp after just water. The coffee becomes a bonus instead of a necessity. The third action takes exactly 2 minutes. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not in your head. Actually write them down. Use a notebook. Use your phone. Whatever works for you. This practice rewires your brain over time. Your brain has a negativity bias. It's designed to look for threats and problems. That kept our ancestors alive. But in modern life, it just makes us miserable and anxious. When you write gratitude daily, you're training your brain to scan for positive things instead. At first, it feels forced. You write generic things like I'm grateful for my health or my family. But after a few weeks, something shifts. You start noticing small good things throughout your day. The way sunlight hit your coffee cup. How your coworker smiled at you. The fact that you hit all green lights on your commute. Your brain becomes a positivity-seeking machine instead of a problem-finding one. Research backs this up completely. Studies show that people who practice daily gratitude report higher levels of happiness. They sleep better. They have stronger relationships. They even have better physical health. All from 2 minutes of writing. The fourth tiny action is the 2-minute rule for tasks. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Don't add it to a list. Don't save it for later. Just do it right now. This rule eliminates so much mental clutter. Think about how many tiny tasks pile up in your mind. Reply to that text. Put away those dishes. File that paper. Each one is small, but together they create this constant background stress. When you follow the 2-minute rule, these tasks never accumulate. You handle them as they appear. Your environment stays cleaner. Your to-do list stays manageable. Your mind feels clearer because you're not carrying around dozens of tiny obligations. I use this rule for emails too. If I can respond in 2 minutes or less, I do it immediately. My inbox used to have hundreds of messages. Now it rarely goes above 20. The mental freedom this creates is incredible. The fifth action is moving your body for just 5 minutes. Not a workout. Not exercise. Just movement. Stretch. Do jumping jacks. Walk around your block. Dance to one song. Whatever gets you moving. We sit too much. Our bodies weren't designed for this. Every hour you sit, your metabolism slows down. Your muscles tighten. Your energy drops. But 5 minutes of movement reverses all of that instantly. I set a timer on my phone. Every 90 minutes, I move for 5 minutes. Sometimes I do yoga stretches. Sometimes I just walk up and down my stairs. The specific movement doesn't matter. What matters is breaking up the sitting. This habit has eliminated my afternoon energy crashes. I used to hit a wall around 3 p.m. every day. It'd need another coffee or a nap. Now I just move for 5 minutes and my energy rebounds naturally. No caffeine required. The sixth tiny action is reading for 10 minutes before bed. Real reading. Physical books or e-readers. Not scrolling social media. Not watching videos. Actual reading that requires focus and imagination. This practice does two powerful things. First, it replaces screen time before bed. Blue light from phones and tablets disrupts your sleep cycle. It tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. Reading a physical book doesn't have this problem. Second, reading expands your mind daily. 10 minutes doesn't sound like much, but it adds up to dozens of books per year. Think about how much knowledge and perspective that represents. You're literally becoming a different person through consistent reading. I keep a book on my nightstand. No phone allowed in the bedroom. Just the book. This one change improved my sleep quality dramatically. I fall asleep faster. I sleep deeper. I wake up more refreshed. The seventh action is the 5-minute brain dump. Before you start work or tackle a big project, spend 5 minutes writing down everything in your head. Every thought. Every worry. Every task. Just dump it all onto paper. This practice clears your mental RAM. Your brain can only hold so much information consciously. When you're trying to remember everything, you can't focus on anything. The brain dump frees up that mental space. I do this every morning before I start working. I write down every random thought bouncing around my head. Things I need to remember. Ideas I had. Worries I'm carrying. Once it's on paper, my mind can let it go. The result is laser focus. I can dive deep into my work because I'm not using mental energy to remember things. Everything important is captured. My brain can relax and focus on the task at hand. The eighth tiny action is the 1-minute meditation. 60 seconds of focused breathing. That's it. Close your eyes. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Breathe out for 4 counts. Repeat for 1 minute. You might think 1 minute isn't enough to matter. But meditation isn't about duration. It's about consistency. 1 minute every day builds the habit. It trains your brain to find calm quickly. I do this before important meetings or difficult conversations. 60 seconds of breathing centers me completely. My heart rate slows. My thoughts clear. I show up present and focused instead of anxious and scattered. Over time, this practice has changed how I handle stress. I used to react immediately to everything. Now I have this tiny gap between stimulus and response. That gap is where wisdom lies. That gap is where better decisions happen. The ninth action is the evening review. Spend 3 minutes before bed reviewing your day. What went well? What could improve? What did you learn? Just 3 simple questions. This practice creates continuous improvement. Most people never reflect on their days. They just move from one day to the next. But reflection is where growth happens. It's where lessons get extracted and integrated. I keep a small journal for this. 3 questions. 3 minutes. Every night. Looking back over months of entries, I can see patterns I never would have noticed otherwise. I can see my growth. I can see recurring challenges that need addressing. This awareness alone has accelerated my personal development more than any course or book. Because I'm learning from my own life instead of just consuming other people's ideas. The 10th and final tiny action is the most important one. It's the action of choosing one action. Because here's the truth about transformation. It doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing one thing consistently. You don't need all 10 of these habits. You need one. Pick the one that resonates most, the one that feels doable, the one you can commit to for 30 days. Start there. Master that. Then add another. This is how real change happens. Not through massive overhauls. Not through perfect execution. Through small, consistent actions that compound over time. Through tiny habits that become automatic. I started with just making my bed. That's it. One habit. 60 seconds. But that one habit led to another. And another. Now all 10 of these actions are woven into my daily routine. They take less than 30 minutes total. But they've transformed how I feel and function. The beautiful thing about tiny actions is that they're failure-proof. You can't fail at making your bed. You can't fail at drinking water. You can't fail at writing 3 things you are grateful for. The bar is so low that you'll actually do it. And that's the secret nobody talks about. Transformation isn't about finding the perfect system. It's about finding the system you'll actually use. These tiny actions work because they're so simple you can't talk yourself out of them. So here's my challenge to you. Don't try to change everything. Don't commit to a complete life transformation. Just pick one action from this list. One tiny thing you can do today. Right now. This moment. Make your bed. Drink some water. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Whatever speaks to you. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it for 30 days. Then come back and tell me how your life has changed. Because I promise you this. These tiny actions are small enough to seem insignificant. But powerful enough to change everything. The question isn't whether they work. The question is whether you'll actually do them. The choice is yours. The time is now. Start today.